Hello, and welcome to Film Slam Stream's post-film conversation for Freebird. My name is Eric Siler, and I'm an instructor of film, media arts, and communications, as well as moderator for this conversation. We're very pleased to be joined by the writer, producer, and actor in Freebird, Wilson Benedito. Hello, Wilson, and welcome.
Hi. Hello, Eric, and thank you very much for invitation. It's a blessing to be here.
It's great to have you here as well too. And most of the times we do talk with a lot of directors. We don't get a chance to talk to the actors in the film. So it's just a extra treat to have you here as well. But you're not the only the actor. You actually wrote this film too. And it was inspired by true events. Can you
Yeah.
just give us a brief recap of how this film was inspired?
Yeah, 100%. This film is based on what happened to my cousin. And growing up, we all kind of lived in this neighborhood with houses made out of tin. So we used to play together. We were quite close to each other. And a year and a half after she lost her father, her mom was diagnosed with cancer. And we all know and suffer with watching your family relative change with cancer, how it affects them physically. But for me, maybe because I was a kid, it touched me more how it affected my cousin, because everyone's attention was towards my aunt, which I loved and I was blessed. But every time I would speak and see my cousin, I felt that slowly she was also dying. And in my head, I was like, why are we not also taking care of my cousin? And then, of course, growing up and seeing how years, decades after, it still affected her, I felt that I wanted to write a film that was based on this, because I wanted to call attention to people and say that even though cancer affects the person that carries it, it also mentally affects everyone else. So yeah, I think it was the change in her during that process of my aunt with cancer and dying, and the years after, that motivated me to write this, and that's the base of the story.
So writers write films sometimes for a specific character. Did you actually write this film for yourself, knowing you would be cast as the lead in this film?
Um, yes and no, because we the story in the beginning, Michelle and Josh, they had this, they were more or less the same age. And with time we changed the age of both. So at the beginning, yes, I had in mind I could play this role. But then as the story started to change when Lauren came on board, it was more about what will affect the audience more. Him being older, being younger, she being older, younger. And I think at that time I was thinking more as the writer and producer rather than the actor that wrote this about. So in the very beginning, yes.
Well, yeah, that's very fitting because you show you weren't selfish. You wanted the story to be
Yeah.
told with this. And I know we talked off camera about the director Lauren McKenzie. Can you just briefly recap what we talked about, how the two of you connected and how she came on board to direct this?
Yes. So I was looking for a director for my film. At this time, the script was different from this. And I met with Elliot, who is the director of Rain Dance Film Festival. And I was kind of like trying to get information and for him to teach me how I could, produce a film. And he told me that there is this director and writer whose film With the King just won the film festival. And for him, she would be great to direct my film. So straight after that, I gave her a call on that evening. We chatted about the film, the ideas, what motivated me. And I think from there we clicked. while we were sharing ideas. And from that moment, she was on board. So yeah.
So what did Lauren add to the film? You had a vision of how your character was supposed to be portrayed. Did she add anything to your character or what?
She added a lot. Mike, I don't feel that Joshua lost anything. I think that she added layers to his emotions, which I didn't have that. And then she wanted not just him, but his sister to also to make a poem between the two of them rather than just focusing on Joshua character. So Leah gained layers as well. So she added layers and layers of emotions to the story and to the characters.
Well, and we were all pleased by that, when she added.
Yeah, same.
Exactly. The one thing that's so gripping about this film is as watch it and watch it a couple of times, it had to be inspired by true events, but it almost seemed as if it was a documentary in a way. But then again, it was, dramatic. It was a narrative in a way too. It was just really remarkable how that blend, that artistry came together. Is that what you were looking for in telling the story?
To be very honest, mainly no. But we were lucky. The reason why is because so when we first filmed, it was just before COVID. And then COVID came, we were not allowed to finish the pickups. And then 2 years later, Michelle came and she was a little bit taller than what she was, the young actress. And that's when Lauren's brain, the poem, the poetic way of writing came. And she said, okay, we have 80% of the film. Now I'm going to do it this way. And that's when this adaptation to what we had came about. So at the very beginning, no. But then she just said, why don't we do this?
Oh, great. Great. Okay. Wow. That's a really great collaboration. So let's talk a little bit about the production process. How long were you filming? How long did it take for the shoot to take place?
So due to COVID, I would say 2 years due to COVID. Because here in the UK, on the first year, 2020, we were not allowed to film. And it was very tricky. And then in 2021, we were only allowed to come back because some people had COVID at the very end of the year. So we finished the film, literally finished at the beginning of this year. No, at the beginning of last year, beginning mid of last year. So 2022, we managed to finish everything.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. It was a roller coaster.
Indeed. So over that period of time, can you talk a little bit about how you financed the film?
How, sorry?
How you financed the film? How did you pay for the film?
Working 7 days a week, around 16 to 20 hours a day. It was very, very tricky because having no experience in the production side of it, you never know how, as time goes, your budget, if you don't manage it very well, which I'm not the best, it can go up. So it got to a point where after we finished the first part of filming, I just went and I was doing my normal job. I was doing agency job. So the goal was to work as much as possible to make as much as possible for the film.
Okay, so it was self-financed. You felt you had to tell this story.
Yeah. I sold my car as well, which was my baby, but now I have another baby, which is Freebird.
Yeah, exactly. It is. Why did you call it Freebird?
So the reason why is because when we watch the movie and we have that very last scene, so the two last scenes, which when they are together in the hospital at the very end and they start to make the birds. So that scene was not on purpose with the title, because we didn't have the title until later on. But then we started to think that her journey, there's a few times where we see the birds, and at the very end, not only she is free from her pain, she is free from all that she went through, but the way she interacted with Joshua made him be free as well. So as we see her hands, even though they were coming down, and then we cut on to see the birds flying on the sky, we were like, well, she's now a free bird, because we connected them both together. She became a bird, she's flying around, she's free. So
Oh, great. The the person who played the young girl, is that someone you knew? Is that someone the director Lauren knew, or did you find it through a casting call?
yeah, we did a casting for her role. We decided to we needed a casting director to bring some really good actresses, because it was difficult to find someone that could speak Portuguese Brazilian as well. So we needed an extra hand.
All right, you did. That's yeah, that is translated in a really powerful way. The acting and the directing and the writing. And speaking of writing, one line you had in the film is sometimes you can only see the beauty of the journey from a distance. I thought that line was so powerful. Can you just elaborate on that?
So sometimes you can only see from the distance. What we try to mean is that I think with the troubles of life, we are not too much in the present moment. We live in our past, thinking of the future, in the future, thinking of the past. And that's where we are. And sometimes all it takes is for us to step back and see our world, see where we are, what we have managed to become and conquer, to then start appreciating. And on the film, that was a little bit of that, because for Joshua, he was too much on, this is happening to my sister, I don't know how to cope with this, and then work and life. And his sister kind of helped him to just, stop, breathe, step away, and see the journey that we have done together. And I think for me and for Lauren was, now if we look this from the outside, and he glues together with a scene from the teacher when she sits down and she's telling him, look at what she accomplished. She came here, she couldn't speak a word of English. So yeah, we cannot see the beauty unless sometimes we step away from where we are, the tensity, and then we appreciate it as well.
And the same thing for the viewers watching this. We're stepping away and looking at this. And the way you wrote this film was such that we knew what was going to happen at the end. Sometimes you see a film like this and you get that ending, oh, everything's okay, the miraculous turnaround. But we knew where this was going, and we knew it was the journey you were taking us on, and looking at it from the outside, and just appreciate what other people are going through as well. So
Yeah.
I think you've accomplished that. That's what you were looking to do.
It's good. It's good when we hear the outside and how they felt, and knowing that we blessed in a way managed to get that across.
So getting that across, what has the response been like to this film?
It's been, I didn't expect it. I don't know if it's because I put myself too low. I didn't expect to have a big overreaction that we've been having, because for me it's very personal. It's very in my heart. And when we've done a few private screenings, and from then festivals that we've put it, and we've had people crying and coming and saying, why did it have to happen? And I understand. And It got to me. So when that happens, it just fills up your heart with all kinds of beautiful emotions. So it's been very positive, very positive.
Can you share, think of one anecdote or a situation that happened that you can share with us, something someone said to you that is sticking with you from after seeing this film? I know there's
I
many.
wouldn't say an anecdote. On the first screening, um, for me it was very difficult because I had to come in and say thank you very much for coming. I appreciate. And because I was anticipating that I'm gonna be there watching the film, and my girlfriend was there, everyone is there. I was like, okay. And then as I was sitting down, I had two people behind me, and I could hear them crying.
Mm.
And as they started crying, I started crying. And it was very beautiful because all I could feel in that moment was a hand on my shoulder. And as they put the hand on my shoulder, I don't know, it felt like rain going through me, but I felt secure. And then at the very end, I would say thank you to everyone. I didn't know who was behind me. So one of them came and gave me a hug and just said, thank you very much. The movie means a lot to me because she lost her mother as well for cancer. So for me, that was one of the most beautiful moments in terms of screening.
I bet. I'm sure you got a couple of standing ovations from your film.
Yeah, yeah, blessed for that.
Yes, if you can do that in film, that's just remarkable with that. So, what's next for you? How do you follow this up? Is there an encore for this, or
A little bit, a little bit. It still doesn't make sense in my head because um where I come from in the south of Portugal, you can dream, but you're always told that, it's always going to be a dream. So even doing something that might seem very small, it's a huge internal victory. And it just makes you feel blessed every day. But now it just gives you more courage and it makes you think, you know what, I can do this. So there's two projects that now we're working around. I've just finished the first draft on one and the second draft on the second. And funny enough, on the 13th of June, I'm going to meet with Lauren because that's another project that we're going to work together and hopefully get something really, really powerful as this.
it's been such a fun and great conversation with
You.
you. Thank you so much for joining us. I wish you
Yeah.
all the best out there, and I hope to see some more work from you soon. And thank you to our audience for joining us for this important and invigorating conversation. For more information about upcoming film festivals, please visit us at clevelandfilm.org. I'm Eric Siler. Thank you.